I learned that Hawaii was the 50th state, and then we were Americans, and we did our Pledge of Allegiance every morning, and that, you know, that America was the land of the free, and that, you know, we learned American history. That's what we learned. Yeah, there was no relationship to Hawaii in terms of what they were teaching.
Just so I understand that correctly, so Hawaii was the 50th state?
Hawaii was the 50th state, and it was, you know, it was this, we were trained to believe that, you know, we were just lucky to be Americans in the land of the free.
And have you ever heard of this term, occupation?
I've heard, yes, I've heard of the term occupation now as an adult. It wasn't, for myself, I can say it wasn't until I had served 8 years in the U.S. Air Force, active duty, that I started hearing the term occupation. And honestly, you know, at some of Keanu Sai's presentations and some of the findings that were coming out of the university, did we start hearing occupation.
Yes, yes. So when you first heard that term occupation, or you first heard it being used, where was that and how did you feel?
Well, you know, I started to hear the term occupation when I started to become more conscious and more focused on learning my true history, learning our political, historical context, and really through a good friend of mine, Kaleko Ka'eo, through, you know, Keanu Sai's presentation on Maui that I saw once. And
we're filming over here.
Hey, we're filming.
Yeah.
It's my son. My son, so he's an activist in training.
Good man.
But, so yeah, largely I would say through Keanu Sai and my connection to Kaleko Ka'eo, when I started learning politics, Hawaiian politics, and started learning consciousness, socio-economic, political contradiction, and how that exists every day for us without us knowing it.
Yes, yes. So how did you feel when you learned that? What did you think? Did you think that, did it make sense?
Oh, it absolutely made sense. You know, of course, I, like many other people, went through that feeling of dismay and rage and anger and frustration, you know, where you realize that everything that you've thought, that you believed to be true was kind of a lie, and that lie was responsible for, you start to make connections and see, like, that's why we're struggling so much. It's not because Hawaiians are stupid or lazy. It's because we've been disenfranchised, disconnected from our land, from our way of life, from our religion, from our culture. And now it starts to make sense that, hey, it's not because we're an inferior people, like some people like to think. It's because we've been robbed of our identity.
How do the events that took place earlier today with the tent, how do they relate to the ending of the occupation?
Well, these kinds of things are critical. You know, Kaleko has taught me a lot about action, and you know, what we do, every little thing that we do, every act of resistance matters. It matters politically, it matters in our na'au, it matters in raising consciousness amongst our people. So, so today was an act of independence, self-determination, however small it may have been. We stood our ground. We didn't let the law enforcement deal in our law enforcement agency chase us out of our palace. Not today. And we called into question the absurdity and the ridiculousness of them wanting to prevent us from putting a tent up here when we've been gathering here for over 25 years. Today was important because if we look at the diversity of the people, the Hawaiian community, the different leaders and different Hawaiians from various organizations, some of them conservative organizations. Now we're starting to see that, you know, the sovereignty guys really aren't that radical. They're righteous.
Thanks. Thank you so much.